go to sleep, you know I gotta keep my eyes open. But I've been smoking, that's the reason why my eyes closed. I'm from a city where the sleepers never make it. Risk your life and they gon' take it. Have you stuck up in that time zone? Like I can't help but always think about that time gone. Too many people I done lost, I'm trying to find home. I'm from a city where the sleepers never make it. Risk your life and they gon' take it. Have you stuck up in that time zone? Can't go to sleep, you know I gotta keep my eyes open. But I've been smoking, that's the reason why my eyes closed. I'm from a city where them niggas leave you wide open. So if you move around, you know to keep that 9 close.
What's up, guys? Welcome everybody to the Lace Up podcast. We're on episode 16?
16, yeah.
Episode 16. We got a special guest today. Our boy DaeHeat came through, showing us some love. And I got my co-host there.
What's up, guys? Devin Donovan.
So we're gonna get right into it. You know, I'm very, I'm looking forward to hearing, Dae's story and whatnot. You know, he makes some noise. He's been making noise in the, the local circuit, in the music industry and stuff like that. And which I'm a big fan of, and Devin as well. And we appreciate having you. We're honored to have you, buddy. Thanks for stopping by.
Yeah, absolutely.
Devin, want to take it?
Yeah, thank you for coming, bro. Thank you for coming. So, yeah, real quick, tell the people, where they could find you. It's what, Instagram's official _DaeHeat.
So, I'm on Instagram. Normally, I don't really rock with Facebook no more. So, I'm on official _DaeHeat and DaeHeat on pretty much all distributing platforms that have to do with music. So, I'm on Spotify, Apple Music, everything. DaeHeat space HEAT.
Hell yeah.
That's what's up, bro. Yeah.
Absolutely.
Look what he did with the shoes, just for us. Just for us. No
Okay.
laces. Yeah, he says
like
the Lace
that.
Up podcast.
Did it come with the ankle thing?
Well, kind of did, actually.
So let's get into that.
The sneakers I had on when I got arrested.
Really?
Yeah, so then when they gave them back to me, they didn't have no more laces.
I know.
Yeah.
That's the worst, bro. I know how it goes, yeah. I got a pair of Lululemon fucking, it still fucking kills me, bro. They took the fucking string out.
Really?
Yeah.
That's what they do, yeah.
Yeah, they messed up my pants. I had sweats on too. They took the string out my sweats.
It's almost more, to me, you can probably laugh about it, but it's like, it's more disrespectful. Like, I get more offended where it's like, bro, like, I just told you, you know what I mean? Like, I'm not going out like that, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Not at this stage of the game,
And if I was, you taking that was not gonna
Yeah,
stop
exactly.
me.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
No shit.
So Dorchester, Mass.
Absolutely.
You grew up Common Square?
Yeah, Common Square area, around between like going through Roxbury, Franklinfield projects, Common Square area, but pretty much stayed around Common Square, like around 700 type stuff.
Yeah, hell yeah.
It's crazy. I think Charlestown's 1 square mile, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's like, we got 3 streets. You got Main Street, Bunker Hill Street, Medford Street, and then the Navy Yard. But, to go to other parts of the other city, so I used to love going to Southie because it was just a bigger version when I was younger, So it has its, positives and negatives, has its perks, but also, blessing and a curse in that way. But Dorchester's fucking...
It's big.
It is.
And Roxbury, too.
They go by the parishes. I never knew that until a few years ago.
Yeah.
Like whatever parish you went to.
Yeah, and it's almost like blocks, right? People don't really know that, but a lot of Boston is like blocks banging with other blocks,
Yeah,
right?
majority of Boston is just like street gangs. Yeah. So you'll be fortunate enough, and by fortunate, you have some type of a different little vibe or a different type of culture if you're from like a projects or whatever like that. Yet a majority of the gang banging and street shit is all like whatever street you're on. So the next street is probably a whole different gang than you know what I'm saying?
Yep.
That's just wild, bro.
Nah, that's a fact.
No,
it is.
It's like
you share the same corner store, but
that's the thing too. Like in Charlestown,
right.
it's like Charlestown. Yeah, right. It's wild, right? I remember I was with a Cape Verdean dude, Rabbit. That was my first I swear, I learned about different cultures and in the system, and this dude Rabbit, man, he was probably 90 pounds soaking wet. And they dried the, Cape Verde, and I'm like, they're wild, man. And they were like beef. Absolutely. They beef with their own family, and they'd be a street over.
Absolutely.
And when I'm saying beef, they're fucking putting them in the dirt. You know what I'm saying?
That's like the dude, them dudes G Fredo and Cal, man. Like I respect them because they didn't tell and all that shit, but they were really putting in work. But G Fredo, I don't know him. I've never met him, but he's skinny, he's small, but he's a shooter. Those
are serious dudes. And me to this day, I never personally encountered them either. I just know people through other people, and I've I know enough to know.
They get down. I mean, talk about like they don't give a fuck for real.
That's just the Cape Verdean culture. So even the people on the other side, they not beefing with people who are like timid, scary dudes that they taking advantage of. They like all doing it to each other.
Right.
You know
No, it's
what I
like it's I mean, you really can't fathom it. You know, I mean. Why would even to portray it or try to? It's like you can't wrap your head around that shit, you know. But I mean, if you grow up in it, then it is part of you. You're accustomed to it to an extent. But you probably have to at the same time kind of, that must be tough though. You know what I mean? Growing up in that environment where, it's right there. Like you walk out the door and it's right there. Especially as a kid being impressionable and stuff.
That is a fact. That's funny you say that because me personally, I grew up, even though being in Dorchester, the only reason I'm involved in the majority of the stuff I'm involved in or made a gang or was a part of the gang or whatever, and it literally I wasn't trying to make a gang. I gave a name to my group of friends. Right? So even if you said, if you go to people from MIC, whatever, they not going to say, yo, we made a gang. They just... I'm from Magnolia Street. I'm from Interville Street. I'm from Columbia Road. We all chill together. This is just what it is. You know what I'm saying? So I say that to say like, I just put a name to my friend group.
Of course.
Yet I wouldn't even be considered a gang if I didn't come out my house and the shit was just right there. Cause I literally, I graduated from South Boston High. You know what I'm saying? So, and before that, like I was going to school. I was paying attention in school. So it wasn't like I was just like a fuck up who was just like, didn't want to do nothing right, and not saying that the people who didn't graduate school are fuck ups. I'm saying like I had my mom and my dad, even though they used to get high, like they came back eventually. They got married. You know what I'm saying? They tried to do the right thing, and they bought a house. You know what I'm saying? And it's like I could have tried to like, well, I probably couldn't have, because if that was the case, that's what would have happened. Yet if it was a different area to you know what I mean, to what we're saying, if it was a different area, I don't think I would have ended up in the majority of the stuff I was in. You know
I say that all the time about, product environment. It's like, we don't, and that's one thing we try to convey on the podcast, and and that terminology, we say lace up, you know what I mean? If you know, and it's like,
absolutely,
and we think it applies, that's how we kind
applies
of carry
to a bunch
ourselves
of stuff.
to anything, it's like,
absolutely,
everyone's going to face adversity, but that's something that is like, it's not an excuse, but like product of environment is huge,
Absolutely.
I say that like my troubles may have manifested themselves very well may have manifested themselves in a different way, but I certainly wouldn't have done the things literally that I was doing, because it was just like monkey see, monkey do, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And who's gonna do it better?
No, absolutely, absolutely. I think that's the thing is like, it's important who your role models are growing up. You know what I mean? And like if you're in the suburbs and you're hanging out with Timmy, Johnny, and Billy, and it's like he's from that street, that's just what it is. But if you're in the hood,
I wouldn't change it though. I honestly wouldn't change it.
Nah.
I always say like if it's gonna happen, I believe like everything happens for a reason, and I think not so much like we have free will, but I think like our fate. I believe in that type of stuff where like. We have choices. We make choices, and they can lead this way or that way, and then you have another choice to make. You know what I mean? It's all about the choices. But I wouldn't change it because I feel like if I had to get out of my system, I'm glad I did. When I did. You know what I'm saying?
I don't think I would change it either. I feel like a majority of us feel like, and this don't matter what you are like. You know what I'm saying? Like, you grew up in Charlestown, and it's still the same shit. You feel what I'm saying?
Of course.
You white, I'm black. It's still the same shit.
100%.
Like, we all grow up because exactly what you said. We products of our environment. So I feel like a lot of us grow up and we think to ourselves, like, only if I knew then what I know now.
Absolutely, yeah.
More than anything, you feel what I'm saying? Like, if you don't go through it, you're still eventually going to have to go through most of the stuff anyway. And to go through it later in life will probably be more detrimental than, going through it.
You see it with, like, you think about, I don't know, someone... When you think about like, someone that has asthma or chicken pox, they say like to have it as a kid, you want to get out of the way because when you get older, you're fucked. You know what I mean? And I see people like, dudes that like were like growing up and stuff. They probably they were smart or whatever the case was. They just maybe they were scared. You know what I mean? And it worked for them in that way. Well, I was scared in a different way. You know what I mean? And I went towards the fire.
Yeah. Well, that's how I looked at it, man. Because like I'd start, I'd I'd be locked up, or I'd be at a meeting or in a program, and I'd be like, well, this dude had it all, like owned a company, owned all this stuff, and in my head, being young and dumb, like thinking like, whatever. But it's like I always looked at it like I never had nothing to really lose. You know what I mean? So it's almost like a blessing in disguise to like have to go from like that to learning how to do that to like, I don't know, like I actually feel bad for like some of the, you know, like later in life, people have to fucking.
And then you get older and you realize like, you know, some people I guess never get the memo, but you know, the comparison thing where it's like, bro, like this isn't, we weren't put here to, you know what I mean, to like, you want to do that, like good luck, you know what I mean? You gotta,
no, of course.
You know, it's like I don't want to be no one but me, you know, and it's nice to be able to do that, you know, we sit here and do things like this, positive stuff, you know.
Yep.
You know.
So, what I want to ask you, when at what age did you like start going away, getting in trouble, stuff like that?
Yeah, tell us about your childhood and shit like that.
So, well, like I already said, I was you know, I was in foster care pretty much like the first 6 years of my life. My parents was getting high. My brother actually got killed by my cousin, and he was 2 years old. So I didn't even, I appreciate you. Well, I didn't even get to meet him, so that's why my mom started getting high. I was actually my mom's first boy after she lost her son. So me and my mom's relationship is kind of weird, you know what I'm saying? And my dad's only son, and obviously first boy when he got with my mom. So they was actually getting high together. That's how they met, you know. After that, they got back together, got married eventually, you know what I'm saying? Got a house, got clean. My father kicked it. My mom went to a 12-step program in Worcester, you know what I'm saying? I like I said, I graduated from South Boston High. I went to South Boston for pretty much most of my public schooling. I went to O.H. Perry for elementary school. After I went to came from
you went
school.
to Perry,
Went to O.H. Perry. I went to McCormick Middle School right across the street from the Point, which was basically had to be in Southie pretty much every day. And then I graduated from South Boston High. You know what I'm saying? And so
that's not there no more, right?
What, South Boston?
Southie High, right?
Well, it's three different schools.
It's in the process of. But I believe I heard that it's going to be closing.
Get the hell out of
here. I mean.
I wouldn't be surprised.
Yeah, to me, I mean.
I wouldn't be surprised. They
well, think about that property there. You know what I'm saying? Like.
Yeah. So, well, after that, I never went to DY. I caught my first actually my first case I caught when I was 11 years old for stealing bikes in Milton. So we used to go to Milton.
I thought that's what Milton's for.
That's what I thought too. Until we got caught doing it.
Wait, what do you mean?
Right. That's what I thought too. And, they said it's funny too because when we first got there,
I thought they were for the property.
I thought the same thing.
I thought they were donations for
when
us.
we got there, they had free bikes. That was the crazy part. They literally, it was a yard sale giving away bikes. And then I got on the bike. I'm like, this is...
No, I'll take yours.
Yeah, this is cool. But then we're like, yo, no, let's use these bikes to go get better bikes.
No, right.
I'm like, when I actually got arrested for it, I'm like, that was so dumb. It was literally like a sign like, yo, here, take these and get the hell up out of here. Yeah. But we're like, yo, let's go trolling for some more bikes.
Yeah, I remember, it's funny, like, the different fads that come around, like, you just jog my memory, because that was always a ding, you know what I mean? Like, I was never a big bicycle guy.
Right.
But if you needed one, like a nice, like they had like the back in the day, you know what I'm saying? Like
absolutely.
The Diamondbacks or different things, you know what I mean?
Treks.
And they go over like MIT and shit like that and just, snip them and like, it was almost like.
Absolutely. But I never got that good to snip it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was a kid, so obviously, at one point we all were, but I wanted to get good enough to snip the bikes. Yeah. But I never was that good, so we was trying to just steal bikes where people was just careless and left them.
Oh yeah, absolutely. No, I'm talking about fucking guys from my neighborhood that are probably still doing it. That are middle age, you know what I mean? Yeah. That's their hustle, bro.
Yeah, for real.
Yeah, God bless them.
Hey, yeah, I ain't knocking nobody, man. You gotta get out. You gotta get out. Lock your bike up, play.
Yeah,
get good luck, because they out here.
Still ride bikes.
Dude, you go to Southie now, like. Trust me, it's a thing. Like those some of those 10 speeds of them, even the crazy scooters now. Like, I was getting high. Like, well, shocker, right? And fucking my buddy's like, dude, like, I got this scooter thing going on. I'm like, bro, like, leave me out. I don't want nothing to do with it. But
absolutely.
What was the story you tell when you were at the Gavin when Morty was there.
Oh,
And he
yeah,
used to
yeah.
come
This
home every
dude,
night
he,
and be like, I'll get a kick
with
out
the
of it.
Southie accent, dude, he'd be like, "Yo, dude, like, I just fucking look, this fucking Xbox was just on the side of the road." Like, you know, he'd come home with something new every night, bro. He'd have a whole trash bag full of shit. Just like,
Yeah, sure was.
yo, dude, just
Oh, yeah,
on
you did
the
that with
truck.
the bike, right?
yeah, with
It's
the
like, bro,
butt.
this bike was just sitting there.
Yeah.
Sitting there, I'm like, what's next, bro? Benz? You know what I mean? But
Yeah, that's what
that
we
door
wanted.
sucks.
No,
bro.
that's good. It's closed now.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. But yeah, man, fucking shit.
So
Yeah,
I'm
so-
sorry. Yeah, we got sidetracked there.
Nah,
but-
no worries. But just to finish that story real quick about like growing up. So I didn't start getting arrested until like going to jail really until I was like 17. Cause I don't know if y'all remember like kind of like what they're doing now. They had raised the age and then brought it back down.
Yeah.
So they raised it right now. It's raised again. So that's good. At the time I was 17 years old. They had brought it back where it was like you could go. You know what I mean? You're an adult at 17 again. So as soon as I turned 17, it was like I couldn't leave jail.
That's
I never,
crazy,
I
bro.
never got to go. I never went to DY. I went to A1 for a weekend for fighting with the police when I was like 15 years old. For my boy Kenny, may he rest in peace. He got into a little scuffle with them because some lady was like, "Oh, he threw an egg." It was on Halloween. She was like, "Yeah, he threw an egg at me." I'm like, "He didn't even do it. It was me." I'm like, "He didn't even do it."
It's
I'm
Halloween, fucking.
Right, kids.
Yeah.
But I'm like, leave him alone. He didn't even do it. They keep on trying to hem him up, but he's mad little.
Yeah.
Mind you, his mom is like, yo, make sure my son is good. And even though we're the same age, I'm bigger than him. So I'm like, stop touching him. They're like, kid, mind your business. I get into a whole
Yeah.
crazy ass fight with them. I end up in A1. That's the closest I went to DYS. That's my point.
That's
So
many nights.
I caught an attempt. And mind you, I caught right after that. Excuse me, pardon myself. That's a lie. Right before that, I caught an attempted murder in a park right across the street from Chez Vu's, right? And I beat it because the kid lived. He was in a coma for a while. When he was supposed to come to court, he never came to court, and they literally did the right thing. So they got rid of the case.
Yeah.
After that, yep. And when I turned 17, I started catching like dumbass trespassing and weed because weed was illegal at the time. So I started catching mad trespassing and weed kids. They was like, we're getting tired of this kid. And my boys, no bullshit, my boys did like a rock. Well, we was 17 and I was like,
shit?
nah, it was a person. They beat dude up, took his shit. And so they came down, and you know how sometimes, like, when that happens, if they got the person, they'll keep him in the car and try to identify him. So they went to identify him, but he don't know who beat his ass.
Yeah.
So allegedly, he said me, and I don't know what the fuck he said because he's in the back of the car. You feel what I'm saying?
Right.
I literally didn't do it though. I was
Yeah.
inside the crib, and I ended up getting time for that case. The only thing I didn't do is what I ended up getting time for. I got 18 months for unarmed robbery.
Yeah.
Yep. And then after that, I got out and I got 15 years.
Wow.
Yep. I graduated from high school, got out, and got 15.
You graduated to fucking.
Yep.
To the major leagues.
Right to state prison.
Wow.
That's crazy, bro. What do you do on? On 15? What are you doing in the state? Like on?
I did 14
Like
years.
the feds, you do 85%.
Yeah.
You know.
In state prison,
Minimum.
I originally started with an armed career criminal.
Yeah.
So I had a mandatory minimum, and I didn't know that the 10 years I could still try to like earn good time off of it. I
Yeah.
didn't know that. So the whole beginning of my bid, I wasn't even trying to get good
Of
time.
course, especially at that age, bro. Like,
Absolutely.
like good time, bro.
Absolutely. I was like, man, fuck y'all. And
You know what I
then,
mean?
you got to go through all of that goofy shit with the administration.
Yeah.
And then they try to fuck you over because they trying to, like, make sure that you have a hard time trying to earn it. So I'm like, man, fuck y'all. I'm in the max.
Especially at that age, you're fucking wild and you're angry. You know what I mean? Like, that's just human nature. Like that's almost a survival. Your instinct kicks in. It's like sometimes you gotta be angry to get through shit like that. You know what I mean?
Absolutely,
It may be like deep rooted fear and shit like that, or like, in your nervous system shot. Like you just gotta put on that fucking meat monkey and keep it moving. You know what I mean?
Of course. At that point. You know
Yeah.
what I
So
mean?
it's like as far as like incentive to earn good time, like I think that comes with age. You know what I mean? And like
No, that's a fact.
because
Because I couldn't even keep a job in prison
yeah.
because of that until I matured enough to be like, you know what, and take it serious. Like realize why I was even going. I would literally get a job, and then I was only getting a job to prove to people like I will go anywhere I want in the jail and I don't give a fuck.
Yeah.
You feel what I'm saying? Like when I originally got arrested, my hood whatever. I'm a fucking grown ass man now. Yet my hood, we didn't have beef with anybody.
Yeah.
When I went to state prison and I was probably like what 2 years in, then now we had beef with everybody.
Yeah.
Because now beef is so popular, everybody wants it now.
Yeah.
You
What's
know
a
what I mean?
beef?
Yeah. That's hilarious.
There's a good song on it.
Hell yeah,
too,
that's Biggie.
Okay.
Yeah.
No, I'm saying Biggie, but then someone else remixed it. I was listening to
recently?
the other day. Yeah.
Oh,
Because I always
know
put
that.
on the Christian rap.
Yeah,
But
yeah.
and like you hit like when I first heard that, like I would have never like Maddie taught him put me onto it. Because like usually I play on the Spotify and there's good shit. It's not like I would think like Christian rap. What do you mean? But they have good stuff. You know what I mean? And then if you add stuff to it, then it'll kind of play that.
It's a great. That would be a great concept in today's day. So I would definitely want to hear that song.
Yeah, 100%.
So everybody wanted beef at the time, and then my hood ended up getting beef. So I'm like, yo, I really don't care about any of that stuff. So I'm going everywhere. Cause I don't know if you've been in a state prison.
No, but I know.
So
the politics.
the politics is the gray side, the green side. They try to certain people. They try to keep you from certain people, and other people are hiding from certain people.
Yeah.
So that's why I was literally going to my job just to prove like I don't really care about the gray side, the green side, none of that. Like if I don't know you personally, how the fuck do I got beef with you? I'm literally in prison for trying, what I'm in prison for.
Right.
That I got beef with that person.
Yeah,
maybe
of course, yeah.
maybe his family if they want to go upside my head. We got to do what we got to do. But some random dude because you're from one neighborhood and I'm from I don't even know you.
Yeah. And that's like that says a lot too about like your character. Even we were talking before about like being your own man, like standing on your, on principle or what you believe in, or because it's easy to jump on board and like that shit to me is like cowardly.
Absolutely.
I would like to, and not that who knows. Like I don't know if I was younger. If I know that I certainly fall. I fall. I was misinformed, but I'm misinformed and fall some people that were also misinformed before me. Prior
Absolutely.
had nothing to do. It wasn't a moral dilemma, but at the same time, I'd like to. But in that situation too, you think about it like it's almost like I'm glad that I went to feds because like in the state or whatnot where and to be in that situation before, so it's like it's hard enough like sometimes to get through the day. You know what I mean? Just kind of trying to get into routine and stuff. And now, like, based on someone, like, I can fuck up my own day, bro. I don't need,
Absolutely.
I don't need my boy or some kid I don't even fucking like from the neighborhood,
Absolutely.
right? But he's from the neighborhood, so, like, now it's like, he's a reflection on, like, what,
Absolutely.
It's like, nah, bro,
Yeah.
But it's crazy. It's like,
Well, that's what I love, man. Is like like I could tell you're a real dude just by chopping it up with you on Instagram, showing each other love, and then texting with you, and then getting you in here for the interview and the show, and
Absolutely.
just having like authentic conversations off the rip.
Absolutely.
You know what I mean?
Absolutely.
Like we
you
have bullet
get in where
points
you
and
fit
shit.
in, you know what I mean?
Of course.
That's why we talk about,
He reminded me
even with the social media and the clout chasing and like, sometimes it's like, I forget, because I'm like Billy Madison, like, and, Devin keeps me young, but like at the same time, like, I'm like, I forget that he's like 20 years younger than me, you know what I mean? And I'm still a big kid, but, we talk about that. I'm like, bro, listen, we can go down a rabbit hole with the social media because I know what it does to me, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's like, I'm the only one it's going to affect me, and in turn, right? Who am I gonna project it towards? With no like ill intent is the people closest to me, right?
Yeah.
Because ain't no one out there like fucking what the clout. What am I gonna call out every fucking? It's like, bro, I don't need to tell them. They know who they are. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So it's like
and
just
there's something to be said for like being the same person you are on a podcast.
Absolutely.
In a rap video, at a concert,
Absolutely.
as you are at Dunkin' Donuts,
Absolutely.
as you are at work, as you are at a
Absolutely.
fucking AA meeting.
Absolutely.
You know what I'm saying? Like you're.
Well, that's like we were talking about. When you were telling them about when we met with Millie's and he pulled up and whatnot and showed us love, and it's
got
like
the Blanco 7 shirt.
Blanco 7 out today, right?
Absolutely. Shout out to Millie's.
And it's easy. It's like that's the thing, and you see a lot of people. It's like he knows, bro. He knows. Real recognizes real. And like I don't need to announce it or like put it out there. But the fact of the matter is like when someone's is by their word, like it's like he don't he could be, I don't know, it's just I'm a fan of his music, but how he he pulled up and he showed us love and in support of the podcast and whatnot, that things like that, it says a lot about him, you know what I mean? That goes a long way,
Yeah, of
and
course.
you know, that's it.
Absolutely. Yo, Joe, outside, he reminded me that we were in Dedham together, and I forgot I was even at that. I forgot I was even in Dedham. I was kicking beans.
What do you have? Did he have shower shoes on?
He was in the hole. We was both in the hole.
Yeah.
I went to the hole probably like 3 times, and then they kicked me back out. So when I went to Dedham, my cousin was there. He was there because he got into too many fights and shit. And so there's only 2 ways you could really get to Dedham. You could PC out of Nashville Street.
Yeah.
Or if too many people's on your card, they'll put you over there because they can't, like, it's like kind of a favor because normally they'll really ship you to like Ash Street. Okay. But if they know like you didn't really do nothing wrong, they'll let you go to Dedham because Dedham's way smoother of a place to be. Hell yeah, they got carpets and fucking in the fucking refrigerator.
Yeah.
So
it's insane.
My cousin went there. I'm like, yo, when I got into it with the Spanish dudes, I got into it with like 9 people, and then they put my boys on my card. So they purposely separated all of us. I'm like, all right, this is the only chance I got because my cousin was in Dedham. So I told him my grandmother lives there. They let me go to Dedham. When I went to Dedham, they moved my cousin immediately. I'm like, fuck, right? So boom, they got max, medium, 1A, 1B, right? So he goes from 1A. That's the first block you go to. He goes from 1A to medium. I try to get to medium. They send me to max. I leave max. I go to the hole. They send me to medium. They send him to 1B. I said, come on, man, you gotta be shitting me. I go to the hole again. They said, nah, that's it, buddy. They sent me right back to
and that's like, even talking about it now, like we can joke and stuff, and thank God, make light of it. But for someone to have that control and like dictate, it's one thing to dictate. It's like I've let people dictate my emotions, like sometimes the closest people to me, based on the way I felt about myself. But like for someone to literally have, like you're the puppet, like they fuck with. I thank God, bro. That's my biggest deterrent. It's not about like we know about like time is like we can get real comfortable there. You know what I'm saying? It's harder out here. For the most part.
Well, I liked what we were segueing into about like when you were talking about being upstate and being young. Like you're not thinking about the big picture, bro. You're not thinking about good time. You're not thinking about getting married, having a family.
Absolutely.
Working a real job, making an honest living, like that shit was all like foreign to us. Like fuck that. Like I'll take a shortcut and fucking take my chances, But, like it's a beautiful thing that we're all here, maturing, growing.
Absolutely.
And like not everyone makes it out, man. Not everyone makes it out of the street life, the drugs and alcohol, the violence, the gang shit, all of it.
And
like,
that's why this is like at the end of the day, it's like it's nice to be able to. To do something positive, like it's like, I don't know, I've chased a lot of different, that feeling, that rush, that like, trying to find the perfect remedy, whatever. But like you said, to be able to do that, it says a lot to me where, you lost your father, you know what I mean? Your mother, there was drugs involved and stuff, she struggled. You talked about your mom and dad and stuff. And I always say, like, about love, like, trumps all, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, at the end of the day, bro, aside from, drugs fucking ruins everything, right? That's a fact, right? And, like, that's what we're here to tell you now, right? Like, it's like, like, to even think, like, growing up with, it's like some of the shit where it's like, you don't say that, it sounds corny, or, like, it's like, bro, no, drugs are corny, bro, you know what I mean?
Right.
And, like, we talked about the dudes out there that are putting out shit, and, like, it's like, bro, what do you want to be? Like, do you want to be a fucking drug... First of all, there are no drug dealers anymore, right? I'll tell you that, like, straight up, right? If there's drug users, there's drug addicts, right?
Yeah.
So there's no hustlers, there's no, anyone that, like, is playing that game, or, like, we can sit there and massage each other's balls and tell each other and play fucking, wankster, prankster, you know what I mean? But, no, for real, though.
Wankster, prankster.
No, you know what I mean? And that shit to me is, like, if someone, like... That's why I love you. I love that the fact that you've been through what you've been through, or whatever. But like something clicked, bro. Right? Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? And the best part about it is this: like, in the past, maybe like we didn't grow up, saying like that would be corny. Like you don't tell your boy like say something nice or give him a compliment, right? You're like, bro, stop. You know what I mean? Like
that shit's weird.
Dude, if someone was to give you a compliment or say something nice down the corner. back in the day, you'd be like, bro, what are you doing? You would get the.
You think
you'd
that
be like,
they up to something.
Right. You're setting me up, bro. Like, you're going to try to clown me or something.
Absolutely.
You know what I mean?
Absolutely.
And, like, that was the crazy mentality thinking.
Yeah.
You know, but it's like, to let someone know, you know what I mean? Because, like, we're our own worst enemies, you know? Yeah. But to sit here and be like, bro, like, and tell someone, yo, you're doing a good job, you know what I mean? Like, sometimes, like, human beings need reassurance,
Absolutely.
you know?
Absolutely. That's a fact.
So your father got you into the music stuff, right? Is that?
Right. I want to hear. Yeah, let's get into the music shit, bro.
Yeah, no, my dad's a singer. He's a soul singer, Leon Bill. So he's been doing it for obviously probably before I was born.
Shout out to Dad.
Yeah, absolutely. Shout out to Dad, Leon Bill. So he's a soul singer. He's been doing it before I was born. He was in the army, right? And he was like doing music for them too. And then, but I mean, he was doing it before that because he was in church. But like, but when I was probably like 6, 7, they probably like started trying to get me like involved with like pianos and shit like that.
Yeah.
And I just gravitated.
So it's in you.
music.
It's passed down.
Yeah.
See, that's the shit I love. Like, that's interesting right there, you know?
Yeah.
It's like, and it makes sense too, you know? And even the fact when you said the church thing, right?
Mm-hmm.
You know, and then in the soul. And then when Devin was showing, you know, I've seen some of your stuff, and I love this shit with your daughter when you have her in your arms. And, like, and that shit, like, I thought of that. When you said soul, I was like, that's where he gets it from, bro.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, even the harmony and stuff, you know?
How old's your daughter?
Absolutely. My daughter's 2.
Let's go, man.
Absolutely. She just turned 2.
Terrible 2s are. You know what, dude?
She's not
listen,
even.
It's daddy's girl.
Yeah, nah, hell yeah.
Bro, that's
she does
like,
what she wants.
Best feeling,
yeah, bro. That's listen. I'll take my The girls are easier than the boys. I'll tell you that much.
Especially at 2.
Yeah.
Yeah, she's just like she's very easy to deal with. She's like, I'm about to go chill with her after this. Yeah, she's very easy to deal with. She don't really like.
Bro, I miss when my daughter was young like that. She's 18, like that's my heart, but it's like she ain't trying to fucking hang out with dad.
She's 18 now.
I got twins. They're about to be 2. I gotta go.
Oh yeah,
bring them to see the Easter Bunny after this. You know what I mean? But yo, it's a beautiful feeling, man. So yeah, so let's segue into how long you been home now, and then like start getting into like what you did. I love the itinerary shit. I love that.
Yeah. Even like we talk about.
Wish it was my beat though.
Yeah, the lace up. Yeah. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like I know we see it's like what do they say? Experience, strength, hope. You know what I mean? Like and so that's
Yeah, the comeback, like Bobby Lucas said, the comeback's
absolutely.
greater than the setback. You know
Absolutely.
What I mean?
Yeah, B. Luke, shout out to B. Luke.
Definitely shout out to B. Luke.
Hey, he's good people, Bobby.
Absolutely.
Bobby's
Hell
good
yeah.
shit.
Big fan, yeah.
Hell yeah.
Pull for
Hell
him.
yeah.
But I'm sorry, go ahead.
No, I'm just here for the ride, man. So when it comes to that song, I was going through a lot of stuff. So between and I'll bring up Free Wuno, that's another song. Them 2 songs, I just was going through like a lot of stuff mentally because I had just got out. So I've been out right now for almost 3 years. And really I've been out for a couple months because I just recently got arrested. But I've been out for before that goofy ass shit happened, I was out for almost 3 years. And at that time I probably been out for like less than a year. And one thing that's really big for me, before I even went to prison, I was already dealing with mental health. So I had nobody to talk to. When my boy, he got locked up, we was actually sellers.
Yeah, listen
in
up.
Shirley Medium. So Free Wuno, which is Izzy, that's my man. He's locked up right now. So when he first got arrested, he's finishing up his time right now. When he first got arrested, I had literally nobody to talk to whatsoever, and I was dealing with my first adult relationship because I got locked up. I was a kid.
Of course, bro.
You feel what I'm saying? Yeah. So and then I'm about to have a kid, and my boy gets locked up. He's the only person that knows my situation, so he knows what I went through. Cause y'all been in prison, so y'all know how it is. Like people don't really understand what you know what I mean, like what you really had to go through, like the type of degradation that you went through, the type of
it's the psychological fucking.
That's the worst part of the whole thing.
You can sick me in a. That's I say all the time. Like, people like my grandmother could do time, bro. Right? Like, I didn't get a chance to tell you. I don't think this isn't for me, Your Honor. You know what I'm saying? So, but it's about whole, your wits like coming out of it the other side. Like that's the fucking thing right there. Because I don't care who you are, like you're gonna, the emotional, the mental, the psychological, that shit there is it's haunting.
And then on top of being locked up and treated like that and going through the mental warfare that they put you through, then to go into being something like even where I met him, and he doesn't probably remember me specifically from that, but I don't forget names because the main reason I remember him because he was such an asshole, if I'm being honest. It was like, I'm gonna
talk about it, baby.
PP in the Riri's. I will never forget that ever a day in my life. And I'm like, who the fuck is that dude? So I remember his name was like DD. That's why I remembered it was you. So I'm like, that's why I asked you, I'm like, yo, you've been in Den before. So I'm like, it was definitely you. So I'm like,
that's being in the hole. Great,
that's why I met him. I met him in the hole. And being in the hole, period, is worse than any of that. You feel what I'm saying? So it's like jail is the ultimate worst, and then to put a jail inside a jail is
so we have the same. I don't believe in coincidences, but we have the same feelings on that, the same type of mindset where it comes. I say all the time. And then it's like we grew up with people, we ran with people like they talk about like sociopaths or psychopaths or like people untreated mental health, whatever the case, right?
Absolutely.
And that can like disassociate.
Absolutely.
Maybe they don't even know they no, it's not like our thing is this, and what we feel everything, right? So we can't flick a switch, right? And to be in that helpless situation and be like, bro, like I can't shut it off. I can't shut this and this, right? And they're so fucking far apart. That shit is fucking torture, bro. You know what I'm saying? Like
I know people that were like, they wouldn't bat an eye at going to the hole, and like they'd almost welcome it, dude. Like, give me books, bring me my meal. Like, it's fucking.
That's
crazy,
not me, bro.
That's
crazy. Know what I want it to be,
Yeah, like
absolutely.
Fuck, man.
I'm not gonna lie. I got to a point where I did appreciate the hole, because the hole is the only place where you know exactly what you're gonna get in prison. And we even talked about that, where you be on the unit, so like you said, you was in the feds, so it's a little bit different. And the Massachusetts car is one of the tightest cars in federal prison. Yet Massachusetts politics in state prison is the most silliest shit I've ever seen in my life, right? So you'll be on a unit, and even if let's say your smoke, drawn, beef don't come, you end up on a unit so long with people that you actually fuck with that you end up fighting each other too. You feel what I'm saying? Because of the politics that plagues Massachusetts prison, right? And I'm sure it's like that in other states too. Yet because of, I don't know those states, I just know Massachusetts politics is ridiculous. And so I say that to say, the only spot you can be in and know exactly what you're gonna get every day is the hole.
And I'm glad that you brought that up, because one thing that, like, we don't glorify the foolishness, you know what I mean, or that type of stuff. And I know that, like, in these are some, it could be friends, family, acquaintances. There's plenty of people, but they go upstate or whatever. And I know that a lot of them, like, it's like, that shows to me, right, that, like, the people that are running the show are the people that they're going into battle with, right? Mm-hmm. To me, it's like, and then they come home, you want to wear that as a badge of honor. Absolutely. To me, like, that doesn't impress me, right?
Absolutely.
And sometimes it's like, I know what that is today. Like, I know, like, even with maturity and whatnot, where I can have empathy and compassion, because, like, some of these people, like, it doesn't make them bad people, right? But it's like, I know that that's fair, right? And it's like, to me, it's like, I try to just show them love, but at the same time, I gotta keep my distance, because it's like, bro, like, if anything, like, I get upset with myself, like, where I can't sit here and perpetrate and, like, play along with you, right? Like enough, you know what I mean? Stop with the fucking nonsense.
Right.
Because to me, right, if I thought you could handle it, right, which obviously you can't, I would tell you, like, bro, like, really, like, that was your leader, or that was the dude holding the keys, whatever, and you want to sit here and, like, it's wild to me, you know what I mean? Like, to me, I'd be more impressed, or I would have more respect, where it's like doing time and shit, or like getting a beef and stuff like that. Yeah. It's like, you fucking, if you want to, want to ride, if that's how you earn stripes and stuff like that. But at the end of the day, what's that mean in the real world, bro?
No.
You know, and like talk about settling for less. It's like I'm putting myself in that fucking box. You know what I'm saying? I'm out here now, and
I had a dude come in 3 times. I did 14 years straight. Altogether, I did 17 years. I had a dude come in 3 times while I was in Susan Baranowski. The 3rd time he came in, I said, dude, what the fuck are you doing? He said, yo, DaeHeat, I ain't gonna lie, it's hard out there. I said, what? He said, I ain't gonna lie to you, it's hard out there. I'm like, well, let's trade places, cause I don't get it.
yeah.
Like, maybe it is hard, but I will give anything to be you.
Just let me know.
Yeah,
like, I
you
just want to know what it's
chances
like.
And you said, fuck it to all of them?
Yeah.
And the crazy part is, and this is going a little bit off track, yet the crazy part is the system gives people like that unlimited chances.
Oh my God, yeah. You get a free pass, bro.
They know you're coming back, so it's like, man, we'll let you out. And
It's a recipe for disaster. It's like it's a set. They set you up to fail in a sense,
right?
Because they'll give you someone like that. They give them enough rope to hang themselves,
Absolutely.
right? And that's something like even the politics are like. There's always money behind things and stuff like that, but like at the end of the day, bro, that shit. If I'm consuming myself with that and like, they or the system or this and that and like, and I'm. It's like, bro, I just gotta worry about me staying in my lane, doing what I gotta do,
That's a
right?
fact.
Not putting myself in situations, and I didn't learn this till later on, where I still struggle with it, where I can still, on the out of impulse or whatever, or like I can still make bad decisions, or my behaviors are off and stuff like that, and that's why I try to find that peace like that, and I think that's something that I learned even being in the hole, where I try to make sense of things and. Maybe I can, the way I can handle it. I think that I try to look at it like, all right, God was like, kid, like he knows me better than anyone, right?
Yeah.
And he was like, you're gonna learn how to sit with yourself, right?
Yeah.
You're gonna learn,
Do
right?
you believe in God?
So me personally, I believe that there's a higher power, and cause I think even just for us to be beings that could create, there has to be somebody that created us.
Yeah.
Or something that created us, right?
Yeah, of course.
I adhere mostly to nations of gods and earth, yet I don't disagree with anybody's religion. My mom's Jehovah's Witness.
Okay.
Really?
You know what I'm saying? And that's one of the things that kept my mom clean.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So I have nothing negative to say about
Yeah, I
religion
think
at all.
that speaks volumes to me as far as when I say God. The reason I say God is because that's how I grew up.
Absolutely.
Well, to clarify, maybe instead of throwing it out there as a general statement, but it's a higher power, like you said, right?
Absolutely.
Of your understanding, and it's a spirituality, and they say
Absolutely.
that's one thing about the recovery that we've got into and stuff like that and learned about. I love the fact that one of the things they say is religion is for people that are scared to go to hell, right?
Yeah.
And spirituality is for people that have been there.
Yep.
So it's like, it's easier to me. It's not a religious thing. You know what I mean? Because that you can get hemmed up with that. So when I say that, I'm glad that you said the higher power. Because as soon as you said it, I was thinking, there's no question. He did all that time. And he came out like this, and within a year, bro, within a year, he put together a resume like he has.
Absolutely.
That's impressive. You know what I mean? I love meeting people like that because.
Even on the spot, because we just met. I'm doing the math. I'm like, damn, he came home. He had a daughter. He did the itinerary. He's done a lot of music.
Absolutely.
Got a big phone on social media. It's big shit, man. You know what I mean?
15 years, bro.
It's crazy. So
I don't have one fucking single out. No.
Shit, you gotta
Joe Day, you gotta.
No, I'm a writer, Day. Listen.
Yeah.
Joe, you gotta let Joe relive. We're trying to let Joe live his youth. You know what I mean? We gotta get him in the stew.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Why not? It's all about the experience.
But yo, a quote that I love from Itinerary, right, is, and we kind of spoke on it, right, man, because it's our word and our reputation, our character, holds a lot of weight. Coming from where we come from, and you said, man of my word, probably never get the recognition that I demand or deserve. And that shit's that speaks volumes, and just like we said with like the Lace Up podcast, there's so many different meanings to that, and it's like there's so if you want to speak on like that song or any quotes in particular, you know.
Well, that quote.
Are you you're a big quote guy? I don't know if that's dude, all my tattoos are all sayings, bro.
That's me. So
that's his song.
I come up with.
No, I know that.
Quote, I come up with what I'm a philosopher. You know what I'm saying? So I come up with my own quotes just based off of my own lived experience. So I got like I wanted to actually write a book of quotes, and some of them are probably cliche in a sense where it's not something that's been said. Yeah, it probably goes with something that somebody said, like similar. You know what I mean? Because the majority of things that are cliche sayings are because they're true everywhere. Yeah. You know what I mean? Cliche sayings are cliche sayings for a reason because it's cliche. It's like it just is what it is. So for me, like I say, one of the things that I say all the time is, excuse me, pardon self. I'm trying.
Listen, keep talking, right? Because I got something to show you.
Yeah,
keep talking.
Yeah.
When everybody knows what you know, excuse me, that's what I was trying to say. I didn't want to fuck up the quote. When everybody knows what you know, then you know nothing.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And that became more and more true even while being incarcerated because, when people start to know everything that you're thinking or you tell people all your business, then they start to utilize it against you.
Of course,
so if you keep the information to yourself, not in a gatekeeping way, but you exactly just like your cards, you could utilize. That's a good analogy to utilize if you utilize cards, right?
Yeah.
If everybody knows your hand, they're gonna know exactly what to bet.
Exactly.
You feel what I'm saying? So you keep your hands exactly close to your chest. So that's what I mean by that. So just going into the quote of itinerary when. I never get the recognition or respect I demand or deserve. I go everywhere and I'm myself, my true and authentic self. I don't try to pretend to be nobody else. I'm not gonna try to play it up. I'm not gonna try to act more gangster, more tough or less tough or less. I'm just be me. If you fuck with me, you fuck with me. If you don't fuck with me, cool. Just stay the fuck away from me. You feel what I'm saying? But I'm
you know
me.
who you are at the end of the day.
That's
right?
it. You feel me? And I also know real people. So that's another thing that I met while in there. Because just like we all been incarcerated, so we all know killers and drug dealers. And the majority of the people that we're going to meet that will take your fucking head clean off your shoulders is humble people. It's people that, bro. You know what I'm saying? Like people that's like, I don't want to do it to you, but if you force my hand, I ain't got no choice because I'm going all the way.
Yeah.
You feel what I'm saying? And that's what I learned about myself. Like, I don't want to have to prove to you what I'm going to do because I know where I'm going to end up.
Yeah.
You feel what I'm saying?
I've said that to you before. It's like, at this stage, and this isn't like being, a tough guy. It's like, it's actually fucking wisdom where it's like, I've learned it's like, bro, I try to protect my peace and like, I try to make sure, and even like to set boundaries with people because it's like, I'm not worried at this stage of the game, bro. Like, what are you going to do? Fucking beat me up, bro?
Right.
Like, what are you gonna beat me up to? Right. I welcome that. You know what I'm saying? Like I'll take the physical pain, but it's like, there's what was I just saying? See, that's
angel dust right there kicks in.
ADD, angel dust.
And I like what you said too about and to me it's like that's why I've learned through this process like. It's better. I'd rather have 10 lions than 100 sheep. Like I want to keep a small circle, man.
Absolutely.
I want to be surrounded by people that. Like you said, if you fuck with me, I'm gonna be my authentic self. If you fuck with me... So
were you just holding that one, like, in your pocket, that quote right there? That was fire.
What? I don't know. Dude, now you're making me fucking
No, you
motherfucker.
That's
no,
good.
but it's true, like, you know what I mean? Like, you are who you surround yourself with, and, like, I've learned, they say in recovery, too, I was talking with someone about this the other day, and it's like, and this is segueing into like when you said keep that same energy when you read my obituary.
Absolutely.
Like there's been they say like relapse and figure out who your real friends are, right?
Absolutely.
Because it's like I don't know. I'm the type of person that like I don't switch up on the people I love, no matter whether it's drugs, alcohol, jail, whatever, right? Like
absolutely.
And like that's part of my story, man. I've had people laugh in my face, and then.
Same.
Like I'm in the hospital overdose, and it's like you're fucking talking shit, dude. I don't gotta say names or nothing, but it's just like people show their true colors.
Yeah,
and, like,
and so it all
keep
comes
that same energy on my.
It all comes
Absolutely.
out in the wash. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like that's just for the lames.
Yeah.
That's why I try to listen. We're all human. We try to we can sit here. You know what I mean? Like there's a time and a place like where like those people, like, I try to, the negativity and stuff like that, which there's a lot of that shit out there, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
But at the end of the day, like, that's why, like I say, I'm grateful for the pain or whatever. What I was gonna say about the you talked about I'm not worried about what you're gonna do to me. I'm worried about how I'm gonna react, right? And because once, you know what I mean,
Absolutely.
My anger will get me in trouble,
Absolutely.
and
Once
like that means
yeah.
nothing. Like, that's not fucking to try to scare you. You know what I mean? It actually scares me.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. I don't and in all of our situations, I'm sure we all been in physical altercations. Like, I done lost fights, I done won fights, and at the end of the day, that's something that people, like the people who been around me, they know. And I don't, like you said, I really don't care about getting my ass whipped.
Yeah.
Obviously, if I fight, I'm gonna fight to win. I might fight to try to take you clean up out of here. But at the end of the day, it's like, I am going to fight. So if you put me in the corner, like, there's people, and we know that too. Yeah. There's people that's not going to fight.
Yes.
Right? It's people you can do anything you want to them, and it just doesn't matter. They're gonna try to find a way out of it. I'm not looking for a way out of it because I want peace. That's what I want. I want to be me. I want to be comfortable being me, and whatever space I got, I want, that's my space. You feel what I'm saying? Yeah. Don't come into my vicinity in space and try to corrupt my space with your stupidity.
I love how you just said that about protecting your peace and, like, this is my peace. Like, that's what, to me, like, you just summed it up, right? I'm defending my peace, bro.
That's it.
Like, I know what it's like to be uncomfortable, right?
Yeah.
I've been uncomfortable my whole life. The last thing I'd ever want to do is make someone else uncomfortable.
Absolutely.
I'll do anything, and I know that about myself. I'll do anything to not do that.
Absolutely.
Until it gets to the point where, like, I don't even have to question myself if I'm feeling the type of way, and it's like, I don't have to think like, Joe, you overreacting? No. I know how I am, so therefore, once those fucking butterflies kicking, it's like, bro,
it's instant.
Dude's testing you or disrespecting you. You need to fucking...
Because if I did everything I possibly could to make sure that you was good or that I'm not offending you, why the fuck do I feel offended now?
Absolutely, yeah.
You know what I'm saying? I'm understanding you 100%.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
That's what's up, bro.
And I'm good with that. And going back to even what you said about the flowers, that is kind of sums up the line too, because it's like, people are always gonna talk about you, and whether you're in the room or not, they're definitely talking about you, and you could even have helped somebody, yet they're never gonna tell you like, yo, you're the person who helped me. Like, every now and again, you might get a real motherfucker to be like, yo, good looking out, or yo, remember when you told me X, Y, and Z? Yeah, 9 times out of 10, especially from our culture, we don't get that. No. It's very rare that people are gonna do that. Gonna be like, yo, thank you, or yo, you're the person who helped me to do X, Y, and Z, or remember when you said this, or yo, I learned this from watching you. Cause I make shit look simple. I know that for a fact. I do certain shit and I make it look simple for other people so that they'd be like, yo, I could do it. And I'm happy with that. Yeah. Like, I'm not mad at that.
Because you're a good person. You have that's where your heart's at. You know what I mean?
Like, I want it to be simple for you. Why do I'm mad that it was hard for me, because 9 times out of 10, I only made it look simple because I probably failed the first 2 times I did it. You know what I'm saying? So, like, but nobody is going to really give you that type of recognition. You know what I'm saying? That you're gonna have to die for people to be like, yo, I remember when X, Y, Z happened, and that's why it's like, nah, if you was acting weird and you had no, you know what I mean, acknowledgement or respect for my name while I was here, when I'm dead, just act the same way, because if I was alive, that's not how you would be acting. So don't try to get kudos or points off of me now that I'm not here, motherfucker, because I would have gave it to you, while I was here.
And that's why I think it's so important. I think to something I've, at least I like to believe that. I think it starts and ends with yourself, like in how do you treat yourself? What do you really think? Not what you think about yourself, but like how you truly feel about yourself, right? Because like for a long time, what I thought about myself, bro, it went from bad to worse, because my version of like having to like, I had to make something up to like feel good about myself. I had to pretend, I had to be a character, basically. You know what I mean? Someone that like that's in. Created a character, not even by default, and in turn, like, it cost me, nothing but pain and suffering, but like to know who you are and feel good about yourself, and then it's like, I feel like, that shit it's appealing to me, and it attracts like the right people, and all that other shit. Like I say, like, unless no one's calling anyone out, we've had these conversations where, and we do try to keep it positive, because there's enough negativity out there, but that there's enough of that noise and shit like that, and no one's doing nothing. You know what I'm saying? Like, and and I'm not putting myself in a position where like it's like it's about that.
Right.
you know.
Right.
So like let's I gotta take myself serious in order for and appreciate it and respect myself in order to receive that genuinely. You know.
So, Day, I want to ask you, who are some of like your favorite rappers, like outside of Boston, whether it's older or newer, like who are some people that you bump on a daily basis, or some of your either favorites or current, whatever you want.
So, me, I don't know. I'm really into like a lot of old school stuff, like Lauryn Hill. I really like Lauryn Hill.
Yeah.
Cause I could pretty much listen to that anywhere.
Yeah.
I like listening to like a lot of old school R&B type stuff.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like as far as rap, I used to love Method Man.
Yeah.
Busta Rhymes.
Yep.
Busta, yeah.
Well, I like how you were talking about how you want to start getting into like the singing shit. The melody shit. I like that.
Especially, like I ain't gonna age myself. I won't even say how old I am, but just once you pass, a certain age, because I'm not 21 anymore. Clearly, y'all know I'm not 17.
Yeah.
But once you pass a certain age, it's just like I feel like rap music, because it's so secular, right? It's made to be, and not necessarily hip hop, because hip hop is just the culture. Yet rap music, like how it went to drill and how it stays secular music for younger people to attract younger people. Yeah. It's not really a lane necessarily for somebody who's trying to give education. I utilize music for my therapy and to give the information and education that I have from my lived experience, so that people don't have to go through the same stuff. So that's why I'm probably like, now I'm just like venturing more into like R&B and singing and melody.
Well, that's why, like, not to like hate, right? But I'm gonna bring it up. Like, you do a couple, like we were talking about, like, some of the stuff on social media with the dude Skrilla and with the dude Ice Spices on the radar shit. Like, I seen that, and it's like, it's just like you're just rapping like Zoo and Boo and Two and You, and it's just like, what the fuck we doing right now?
I don't know what the hell's going on with that.
Yeah,
Ice Spice said we used to sleep with bugs, and I'm like rugs and drugs and I was
I'm snug as a bug. I'm snug as a bug in a rug.
Yeah, like that's something somebody says in jail, just joking around.
Yeah,
like what are you talking about?
Yep.
That's wild, bro.
Yeah, absolutely. So, do you have is there a feature with Lil Reese coming? Is that happening?
The feature is out. The song's out there, but the feature, if I'm being completely honest, is not even it wasn't even a real feature. So the song, I dropped the song because somebody tried to swag me. They tried to finesse me with a feature from Lil Reese. Lil Reese is actually locked up. Free that man. So, he's from Chicago.
Free Reese.
Yeah, Free Reese.
Yeah, Lil Reese.
I don't know him, yet the dude knows him. And then he was like, yo, you want to jump on this song? Yet what people have been doing recently is they've been selling features to people and reselling them. So now, boom, I go to release the feature, and then I run into problems from releasing the song. It's not my beat. I don't really know Reese. I can't get no real clearance. Yet the song was so, like, I liked the song so much, I put the song on, let Lil Reese part come on, the beat come on, my daughter started dancing. Yeah. So I said, I'm going to record it. You feel what I'm saying? Like, you sent it to me, I'm going to record it for my own personal use. Yeah. So I don't release the song. I just put it on my Instagram and let people who fuck with me see what they think. You feel what I'm saying? So it ain't, in all actuality, it's not a real feature. It's just that Lil Reese happened to be on a song that was unreleased, and I just like kind of remixed it. So it's somebody else's song. The dude who originally gave it to me, name is Loopy. Know what I'm saying? Wow. Yeah, I'm pretty sure it was like a finesse tactic. So I'm like, man, I'm not paying you to.
Yeah, you know what it is.
Yeah, like come on, bro. Knock it the fuck off.
Yeah, no shit.
Yeah, step your game up. That's your hustle, bro.
Yeah. Exactly.
That's what I say about the kids nowadays. They hustle. Yeah, go to the doctor and get all the MATs and like and think you're a drug dealer. You know what I mean? Or you're a drug addict. So go to detox, all right?
Absolutely.
You matter. No, for real though.
Yeah.
I know. I mean, especially like that. Like I don't know. As a kid, I wish I had someone to tell me, like, give it to me like that. Because even being away, the people that I learned from the most, and thank God was like the older people. I've always, you know, that's who has the wisdom, like you talked about. The guys, it's like fucking Shawshank, bro, like Red, and you know, Morgan Freeman, like, you know what I mean? The old wise dude, like that, like, yeah, he was a G back in the day, but like, where'd that get him?
Absolutely. No, absolutely. So what was? How did the viral toilet thing come up? Were you just like on the toilet like fucking I'm a freestyle man? Because that shit blew up.
Kinda, pretty much. So it's crazy because I could be doing anything else. Like I'll freestyle and be you know, in Miami or freestyle be in the car. Yeah. And for some reason people wanted to see me rapping on the toilet. So. Yeah.
Yeah, well, that's crazy.
You got the toilet paper and you're just
that's
going.
Fucking awesome.
Yeah. I'm like, man, hey, fuck it. So I'm gonna do another one. I'll probably do a few of those.
Fuck yeah. Let it ride. Fucking that's the thing, man.
No, I love where your vision is. I love where you're going and like, you know, what you're doing, what you have done, you know, how you laced up, you know what I mean? Yeah. Like that to me is like that's respect, you know what I mean? Yeah. And if anything, like you talked about, you know, I was thinking when you said, like, you know, I feel like you talked about it before. I believe that things are in people, you know, like at your core, you know, and circumstance may bring that out and expose it at certain times, you know, good and bad.
Absolutely.
But it's like you're the type I feel like that, like everyone eats, you know what I mean?
Yeah, absolutely.
You know?
Okay. Absolutely.
Yep. Bring everyone to the table and eat. Absolutely. So what's up with Papoose? What's going on with Papoose? So
Papoose owes me a feature. Yeah, he definitely owes me a feature. I went I don't know if you've seen, that's on my Instagram too. So I did a competition for Papoose in New York. This was like actually like a few weeks before I got arrested for this goofy ass shit. Yo. It was at Cakes NYC in New York, and it was like probably like between 50 to 60 artists, and everybody came together to do like a little competition, and you had to put Cakes NYC and all of this and that and that. And so I won. They gave me some weed, which actually helped me to bail out. They gave me a pound of weed, some edibles, like $500, and a feature with Papoose, and it was supposed to end up on like the radio and stuff. Yeah, they ended up doing like mad shit after, and I left. So like I ended up with contact. You know, you end up with the people's contact information and this and that, but I never got the feature.
Wow.
Yeah, so I
Papoose, act right, do the right thing, brother.
Papoose, do the right thing, bro. Mathematics was just recently with him at a club or some shit. I don't know.
Yeah, I seen that too.
Yeah.
He comes.
Yeah, because he's the tri-state shit.
Yeah, he's from New York.
Yeah,
so but yeah, he does.
He was back in the day, bro. When he came out, that shit was.
He can rap.
He can rap. I remember.
I'm a fan. I'm not.
Who did he sign with when he came out?
He wasn't signed. He did get signed at one point. I want to say the Def Jam.
Yes. Who is it?
Devin's here?
Yeah, what up?
Somebody wants you.
Alright, they're gonna have to wait.
Okay, I'll let them know.
We're good. So who was Papoose signed to?
So I want to say he was signed to Def Jam. I'm not sure. Don't quote me on that. Yeah, when he originally came out, he was part of like all the Smack DVD. That's where I remember him from.
But I remember someone. I think someone big like he came out with.
Yeah, when he did you're talking about when he did the Touch It remix.
Yes.
Yeah, he did. I'm pretty sure he did.
Yes. That's what put him on the map, right?
Yeah.
And he was with
that shit was fire, bro.
Yeah, it was. Hell yeah.
He was with Remy Ma for a long time, and something recently happened with them.
You were Remy Ma, weren't you?
Fuck no. I wish.
Remy Ma killed it though and leaned back, bro.
Yo, she did. All the way up. All the way up.
She said we walk around the metal detectors.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's. I was with dudes from the Bronx.
What did she go away for again?
For shooting, same shooting.
Did she really?
Yeah, she
really?
Shot, they said she. I don't know if that part's true. Allegedly, she shot her homegirl over some bread. You know, I mean, well, you got to pay what you owe. That's number one. But you know, she did time. She did like 7 years for a shooting.
Shit.
Really?
You know who just dropped a track, an album from prison is Tory Lanez.
Absolutely. I was with Tory Lanez in Miami too.
No shit.
Yeah, no bullshit. That's him. That's in one of the songs too.
Why, he's away?
He's away right now.
Yeah, he's
for
got
shooting
like 10 years.
He got
Megan Thee Stallion.
He got 10 years for shooting Megan Thee Stallion in the foot.
And they said he didn't even do it.
Really?
Yeah. Yep.
I actually. Yeah.
Remember, so who was it back in the day? Shine. Remember Shine took the fall.
Yep. Shine from Belize.
Yeah.
Did what the Diddy.
Yeah.
No shit. And so yeah, let's get into what's up with the. You want to talk about the recent arrest? You cool with that?
No,
Yeah,
he
man.
probably got still. Yeah.
Yeah,
but-
well, I'm saying definitely limited because you're right.
Yeah, of
definitely
course.
still fighting,
Of
but
course.
you know, in a nutshell, you know, the police need to do the right thing. Not only does Pat Poose need to do the right thing and you know, hit me back with that feature, the police need to do the right thing and dismiss this case because it stemmed from my lights not being on. I get pulled over for my lights not being on. I'm like literally a few hundred feet away from my crib. So I parked at the corner store about to grab something out the corner store. I was on my way to my girl's crib and she called me. I'm like, yo, I don't even want to come outside. Like, you could feel it, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
like,
of course,
normally
bro.
for something goofy
Your
happen,
intuition,
you
man.
feel me? And so the lights don't come on. Mind you, it's a newer car, so it's automatic lights.
Yeah.
Soon as they get in behind me, I'm like, fuck, my lights ain't on.
Yeah.
Because you can also see it on the dashboard if your lights is on or off. So I'm
Yeah.
like, fuck. I turn them on, obviously, immediately,
Yeah.
yet they're still in behind me. I'm already parked. I'm at the corner store. They jump out, turn the blue lights on. They're like, hey, you know, we was in behind you. I'm like, I mean, obviously, I could see them behind me.
Yeah.
I'm like,
What do you want me to say to that?
Yeah, I seen you when you turn around. They go, what do you mean you seen us when we turn around? Why are you looking at that? I'm like, cause I'm driving. If I'm not looking at the road, I'm gonna get into an accident.
Yeah,
That's
yeah.
common sense. What are you talking about? Right? So, long story short, not even long story short, directly after that, they go and look in the thing for you know, because they asked me for license registration. They come back. Obviously, they see my record.
Yeah. They already knew that from the rip.
So they asked me to get out the car. Yet that's illegal to ask somebody to get out the car during a traffic stop. So, you know, they actually, it's not illegal to actually get out the car if they're doing it for their safety because they see something.
Right.
Yet because there was nothing, I don't smoke, I don't have nothing around, I'm not drunk, is nothing visible for you to feel in any type of danger whatsoever. There was no reason whatsoever why taking me out of the car.
They ran your name. That's why they took you out.
That's it, right? And so when I informed them that I'm aware that what they're doing wasn't lawful, then they got mad, came, smashed my window, whipped my ass, and then said they found the firearm.
Really? Wow. Damn, bro.
Yeah. It's crazy. That's fucking wild, man.
Yep.
And here you are at home trying to, you know, doing the right thing,
Yeah,
being a father and working.
And that tests you. That could. I mean, I feel like that would test anyone's faith. You know what I mean? But
Absolutely.
I mean, it's discouraging, bro. How couldn't you be discouraged with that happening? You know what I mean? At the end of the, especially when, you know, it's like road trip. I don't give a fuck if someone's, you know, I always say I played cops and robbers growing up. Right? I lost. That doesn't mean like I don't give a fuck if you're a cop, whatever. Right? Are you a decent human being? You know what I mean? Right?
Absolutely.
I know. I knew the job description before I got involved, bro. Your job's to chase me. It's not to treat me like a fucking like less than or fucking. You know what I mean? Inhumane.
Yeah.
No, we ain't going. You know.
That's what I was trying to. I was literally trying to talk to the humane part of whoever the person was in front of me, and that just didn't present itself whatsoever.
Yeah.
You know. So you know, I'm hoping. You know, and I'm pretty hopeful about it and pretty confident that the situation is gonna get rectified the way it's supposed to. You know what I mean? It just sucks that I had to go through that. I'm not gonna lie to you. Even in there, just that feeling, we kind of talked about it with the, you know, that's why I wore these shoes. This is the shoes they gave me back because they took out my laces. And I won't lie to you. I definitely did contemplate it. Getting in that van at this stage in the game, I literally had the same week that they arrested me. The day they arrested me, I did 2 toy drives. The day before they arrested me, I performed with the chick Biggie from Baddies, right, in Lawrence. The same week, I had a show to do with Albial and his crew and Tight Management, who had put the whole show together, and that was probably gonna be one of the biggest shows of my career due to the resources I would have gained after the show. Those people ended up going on tour in like the UK or something after that. So I'm saying all of that to say at that stage in the game, I felt like, and with my daughter, I felt so crazy, like a failure. I was like, yo, and if it wasn't for my daughter, I promise you, like the thoughts that I contemplated while in there was ridiculous.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And
You know, I've talked to Devin, not to cut you off, but
Nope.
that shit just made my stomach turn because I had a situation a couple of years ago or whatever, and, you know, I came home 2010, so I've been home 15 years now.
absolutely,
And
congratulations.
thank God for the, you know, I have a good, you know, family and like support system, and like, you know, and this, you don't stay out by mistake, bro.
Absolutely.
You know what I mean? Like
Absolutely.
that just don't happen, especially that length of time. And I spent like a week, 5 days in Area A. It was snowing or whatever. I was supposed to go on a Thursday. Some shit that like I blinked and like I didn't see it coming or whatever. And I said to people, right, the worst part about that, right, I don't need, this isn't about fucking, you know, can Joe do time, you know what I mean? Like,
Right.
you know, yeah, yeah, that's not the thing. I always say, like, the feeling, that helpless feeling, and knowing, right, I always, like, if I do something wrong, bro, I've always paid the piper.
Yes, sir.
I always face the fucking music,
Yes,
always
sir.
suffer the consequences,
sir.
right? When the gig's up, bro, right?
is what it is.
Like, you know what I mean? I'll be the fucking most polite you know what I mean?
Yes, sir.
I'm not, it is what
Yes,
it is,
sir.
bro, you got me. But when I'm doing, I know that I'm
Everything
doing the
right.
right thing and feeling good or whatever, and like life happens, and to be put in that situation, right?
Absolutely.
And to feel those feelings, I know exactly what you're talking about,
I
bro.
know you do because I can tell by what you're saying.
And
I could feel it.
you know, but that shit is so, I get so emotional, bro, where I'm talking
Same.
like, and thinking about like, knowing like, bro, like, oh, you know, 60, 90 days is not about the 60, 90 days. It's so much deeper than that, bro. When like, and I'm like, all right, if I go out there and the judge says this, and like for a split second thinking like, I'm going to smash my head off that toilet right there.
Absolutely.
Because I don't know, I don't even want to be able to fucking describe it, right?
Yeah,
I wouldn't
relinquishing
want
that
anyone
type
to
of
ever
control.
feel that way.
Not at
So
all.
I do, you know, I'm glad that you brought that up, bro.
Yes, sir.
Because that's a fucking terrible feeling.
Yes, sir.
Like I, you know, even to try to manifest or bring up like, you know, that courage or like that, like, I don't know, man. It was like I had so much clarity, but yet I was still so helpless. And I'm like, bro, wait a minute, like, I know what a real crime is. I know what, like, you know, fucking up and like, and I could accept that. But like for this petty shit or something that like don't, you know, don't get me jammed up where like you almost feel like
Absolutely. I being in there in that situation and then having to try to stay strong for everybody else was probably the hardest part of that whole thing. You know what I'm saying? Because just like you said, I felt in every situation when I did what I did, I know what I did, and I knew the consequences. So it was nothing to be like, oh, I got arrested, I was doing some silly shit, or I was doing something that I know I probably shouldn't have been doing.
Yeah.
So it comes with the territory.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Yet, just everything you said, I told you I felt it because that's exactly how I felt. I'm literally in my house minding my business. I wasn't even that far from my house. You feel what I'm saying? So to end up in that situation and then knowing like, dang, I can't do nothing about it. I couldn't even, when I started having the negative thoughts of doing things to myself, I couldn't even do that because the control that I relinquished was so crazy. It made me feel so crazy that I felt hopeless, helpless. I felt
no
every negative
voice.
thing.
I always say no voice.
No voice whatsoever.
Standing in front of a judge and being like, I don't know about you, but like I've never got to fucking raise my hand or speak or tell my story or my side of something or, you know, even defend myself, you know what I mean? Because right, and I'm okay with not, like I said, I know fucking the rules. I know, you know, and if I go over them, I'll break them, you know what I mean?
Absolutely.
I played hockey my whole life, you know what I mean? I get a penalty, I go in the box, you know what I mean? That's it.
The last two times, because of feeling like I had no voice, the last two times I went to court, I went to, when I was, not for this situation, the last two times, because I have flipped my case. So if you look up, my real name is Dante Bill. If you look up Dante Bill as far as criminal law is concerned, when it comes to ACC, I'm one of the main cases, especially if not the main case for Massachusetts that helped people with armed career criminal cases, because they literally took a federal statute and a federal charged me with it in the state, and just was like, it was like a practice run. You know what I'm saying? And they utilized a piece of paper to convict me for armed career criminal and enhance my sentence. Right? So I say that to say, I ended up, because they knew what they were doing, right? It set that type of precedent where they automatically had to flip the case, and when they did, they still didn't give me less time. Yet because it's in the law books, it helps a lot of other people because I went to trial. Now, all of that said, when I went to court, they literally was saying to me, "We're not gonna do anything for you. We're not gonna give you less time." It was no reason for my lawyer to be there at that point, so I started speaking. I just started telling them whatever was in my head because it's like, what the fuck are you gonna do? You can't give me more time. You gave me the maximum time you could possibly give me.
Yeah.
So now you're gonna listen to
everything,
me.
But
So that's when I started. We're gonna put all of this on the record. I tell you how I told him how goofy I thought the whole situation was. I told him how stupid the courtroom is. I told him how asinine this whole situation was, because why would you bring me to court just to waste taxpayers' dollars only to tell me that you going back to your cell and we can't do nothing for you? I could have stayed in my cell and ate a meal and not have to been worried about eating tuna for the day. You feel what I'm saying? Like,
that's why I say all the time, words are powerful, bro. And if you can articulate them, I mean, I always say I can write, but then I can speak.
Absolutely.
You know, and that's probably that's like from way back. But it's something that I'd like to practice and work on.
With the poetry, Joe. We use the bathroom.
Yeah.
You got my boy fired up.
Well, I'm gonna read you something real quick, and then we're gonna have Dave sign.
Yeah.
But so bro, I wrote this shit in 2000. I started writing, right?
Yes,
I used to write when I was a little kid, but I started like writing poetry, music, and shit when I was away, and I've kept these books, for so long. I have a bunch of them, but I'm gonna hit you with one real quick.
Hell yeah, let's do it. I got one for you too, because you made me think of something when you said no voice.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
So I'm gonna hit you with one, because a lot of them I know off the top of my head. Just like, I mean, I recite them so many times, like in solitary, or just that's what kept me sane, I think, for a long time. But this one's called "Stay Focused," and it goes, "You gotta keep swinging and bringing the pain, because when it rains it pours. I think I'm going insane. Trying to move forward, but keep taking steps back. I can't figure where I'm going, why I'm falling off track. Been flying solo for 10 rare years, wondering who still cares about these dried up tears. There's something missing inside my soul, as I sit all alone, this lonely hole. I keep writing and rhyming to ignore the screams, the wails and the cries of the nightmarish dreams that have me trapped without hope of ever being the same as a 21-year-old kid who came in with a name. But now I'm just a number of the government's plot to tuck me away and wait till I rot. But they're sadly mistaken, because I'm a soldier at heart. Survival's my mission, like I said from the start. So won't ever count me out, because no doubt I'll keep fighting. The convict assassins don't sweat, I keep writing.
Keep writing.
Yeah, so that's why, and I try to network. What I want to do, my passion, and is to ghostwrite. I want to ghostwrite, because the writing to me, like I say, I could sit there all day. I don't know why. We're not the type of people just go out there and be like, but some things you just know in your heart, and I just feel it. I don't need validation. I don't need, I'm like, I don't know why this is easy for me. And I feel like one of the things is when people are like, whoa, I'm like, all I'm doing is putting what's in here, and relaying it onto paper, right?
Absolutely.
And it comes easy. Like, I don't have to think about it, because I'm not lying. I'm not fucking, it's just, it's what I'm feeling.
Dave,
So
I want to know one more thing. What's up with Rick Ross?
So,
Ricky Rose.
I don't know necessarily what's up with him. Yet allegedly his camp was supposed to be talking to me about they was listening to the same song, listening to our itinerary, and dudes was saying, yo, we got him listening to your music right now, so yo, hit us up, da-da-da. So basically, like, people from my team is kind of in talks with certain people. Yeah, you just never know what's gonna happen with these situations. So I don't want to get my hopes up. Yeah, that's
of course.
What's
But
going
hey,
on right now. I know he deals with Smoke Boji too.
I've been in contact with Smoke, and we're trying to get him on here, and that'd be for you and Smoke and Rick Ross to all.
you're gonna have Smoke. You keep acting up and dead him, bro. Right? You gotta teach the young boy.
Yeah, I was young as fuck then, bro. But now,
he got a memory like an elephant, bro.
Yeah, no shit. That's crazy.
I can't remember nothing that happened 5 minutes ago.
Yeah, right.
I know,
Everything that happened 5 years ago.
I know. So yo, June 7th, we're gonna pop out to the show.
June 7th.
Tell
let's
the
do
people.
it. Yeah, no, June 7th, Providence, Rhode Island. Let me make sure I don't mess this up. Favored Moments, The Hall, June 7th, 292 Academy Ave, Providence, Rhode Island. So, yeah, I'm going to be performing. A couple people going to be performing with me. You might even see the rest of the 43 AD squad. So if this come out before June 7th, you guys pull up, show some love.
Absolutely.
Let's do it.
Let's do it.
100%,
Can I have your
bro.
autograph, bro? Just wherever you want to sign, bro. Episode what? 16?
16, yeah.
Locked in the books, baby. We got a. Oh, we did pretty good. Good episode.
Absolutely, bro.
It's been a fire episode.
I'm gonna go under
Yeah.
W number. I'm gonna write my W number because I still remember it.
Yeah, write that shit, baby.
Yeah, right? Yeah, you'll never forget that. It's like an old phone number.
Hell yeah. I remember that more than my phone number.
Yeah?
Yeah,
Jeff, did you used to have, did they have rotary phones when you were a kid? Huh?
What are they?
Yeah.
I had the chirp for a little bit.
Yeah.
The chirp was my shit.
Dev does biz with fucking tablets and
Yo, Joe hates the fact that there's free calls and tablets and shit.
Yo,
no, that's just
shit
not
is
fucking
crazy.
That's
Yeah,
not,
it is
that's
crazy.
not
How much
real,
money
bro.
we
That's not.
spent?
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
fucking.
Hey,
Oh
listen, I'm
my
not a hater.
goodness.
Like, you know,
That's
good,
not Jill.
Good for you, but like,
Yeah.
the fuck? Why'd I have to fucking?
Yeah.
I know the people who spent all their quarters on it is even worse.
Yeah,
Yeah.
word.
Doesn't matter.
Word. Oh, the
Bro,
heliphone,
turn it over,
though.
yeah.
The heliphone.
Turn it over
fucking,
and they great right
oh
now.
my god, the shit that goes down over that.
But
fucking
listen,
phone.
thanks everyone for tuning in.
Yeah,
We had a,
thank
you
you,
know,
bro.
this has been a
Absolutely.
great episode or
You
whatever.
wanna hear that? I
I'm
still
grateful
got
to.
that
Yeah,
for you,
no.
too.
So we're gonna leave you with this. DaeHeat, check them out. But Dave, what do you got for us?
This is for you.
Okay.
Because of what you said. While in there, I said, "Oh damn, I done woke up to white walls again. Now I gotta make collect calls again. Well, they don't, right? Because the calls is free. Now I gotta make collect calls again. Grandmama listen to Lou Rawls again. If only God could judge, then what's the robes for? If only God could judge, what's the hold for? Why that lady taking notes for? Jake's out thinking I'ma break out like a cold sore. Those who don't say it, they get told more. You wildin', what you got to show for it? All my heathens riding like a chauffeur, trying to make it up from underground. Go far. So far, we just inhaling Patron. Edgar Allan Poe, my Raven Simone. Nevermore, thousands on lawyers alone. Usually the bars I'm behind require a song. So why is people picking up your phone for? Naomi's busy. Okay, tell her Dawn call. Man, Ghostbusters wasn't picking up my phone calls. Trying to find peace on some namaste. My kusa mama say. Hell, I should just listen to what mama say. Block had him trying to Del Rock, no Lana Ray. Nah, way, shorties wanna kick it on some copper waiter. Ain't about the money, bar fueta. I cop waiter. Shit done got greater in the bang. We was still pulling strings, John Mayer. I made prayer for women who cry. Dying inside cause they live in the lie. Like feast your eyes on a genuine God. No, I ain't no mathematician, this simple as pie. Why? The block dry, but the rock got moist. Christina Aguilera, we ain't got no voice. They say to never die alone, we ain't got no choice. They say to never die alone.
We ain't got no choice.
That's fire.
Shit.
Let's go. Mic drop, baby.
Damn, bro.
That was sick, bro. That was fucking sick.
DaeHeat, episode 16. Fire coming out soon. Check it out. Thanks, Day.
Absolutely.
Yo.
Peace. Lace up or lay down.
Lace up.
They gon' say that love you only temporary. Keep that same energy when they read my obituary. I had tried to show you I was legendary. You tried to hold me like I was ordinary. Don't nothing happen that's unintentionally. In case I get slaughtered, make my daughter the beneficiary. Heavy if they ever try to dead me over bitches. Keeping switches cause I can't afford to switch up the itinerary. I've been dodging coppers in the cemetery. Gotta do the race, eye for an eye, visionary. Drawing like I paint, say on me like the military. I can't fuck with bitches missionary cause I can't have them lying to my face. Spoke to MH and he told me stop posting what you want. They don't care who's right or wrong, just write it in your song. Talk to oils, I ain't get to save your number in my phone, which made it more sick. I just can't believe that you gone. I was locked up, I was losing niggas on the brick. Now I'm on the brick, losing niggas I did biz with. I feel pissed. One near relish had killed fish. Would I ever come to terms with the fact that he still snitches? Real shit. Hey bitches, that's mischievous. LFC myself to pay that money to devious. Man of my word, probably never get the recognition or respect I demand or deserve. Still handle my business.